With the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person because of his intangibles. When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank's a...
Roy Jones Jr. doesn't agree with the idea that Shakur Stevenson can't be beaten. Even though much of the boxing world is ready to place Stevenson at the very top, Jones believes there is one fighter who has the ability to seriously challenge him, Gervonta Tank Davis. However, he adds a strong warning to that belief. According to Jones, Tank possesses the raw skill, explosive power, and natural instincts needed to win, but there is a key difference between the two fighters. Stevenson has mastered discipline and consistency, something that separates him at the elite level. Jones explains that this potential matchup isn't just about technique or in-ring styles. It's also about what happens outside the ring. If Davis can stay focused, avoid distractions, and fully commit himself, Jones feels he becomes a dangerous threat, one capable of creating problems that even Stevenson may struggle to solve.
For anybody.
6-7 more fights and I'm naming names. One of the guys, obviously, you and Shakur got into it on Twitter. You was like, you wanted them 6 or 7.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
For sure?
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
Do you think that's going to be your hardest fight?
Hell no.
Nah?
Wow.
Because he a good boxer, nigga. Like, that's when I look at y'all two as the best in the division.
How? Show me something that he did show me something that he did outrageous. Show me. His power not outrageous.
Okay.
What defense?
You think he got defense?
He just jumped back. You never see him slip no punch. You never see him slip no punch. Go look at it. You see him back up from a lot of people. Back up, move around. He don't got no technique. And his offense is the same.
What I like about Tank is Tank brings something different. You know, back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer. George was a puncher. Ernest Shavers was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but
And why Roy Jones Jr.'s comments stunned so many fans. You have to consider the level Shakur Stevenson had reached by early 2026. On January 31st of that year, he entered the ring to face Teofimo Lopez, a fighter widely respected for his explosive power and unpredictable approach. The anticipation was massive, with most people expecting an intense battle filled with dramatic exchanges. Instead, what unfolded was a masterclass in control and precision, as Stevenson calmly dismantled Lopez round by round. By the end of the night, he hadn't just secured the WBO super lightweight title. He had completely outclassed a fellow champion in dominant fashion.
He looks at it a few times to make sure he got it. When you know he got it, boom, he get it. That's a real chess player in the boxing ring. That's the most deadly kind of guy in the world besides a Mike Tyson type guy in boxing. A guy that can play chess in that boxing ring is a killer.
I'm dangerous.
He can box. He can punch. He can move laterally. He can do a left side, right side. He can do whatever he needs to do as a southpaw to get the job done.
Stevenson's win wasn't the result of luck or close call. It was a precise showcase of timing, control, and strategy that pushed his record to a perfect 25-0 while earning a title in a fourth weight class, solidifying his legacy at a remarkably young age. He systematically neutralized every tool Lopez brought, leaving the former champion off balance and ineffective. And although such dominance makes him seem flawless, Roy Jones Jr. saw beyond the perfection to identify the one factor that could disrupt this seemingly unstoppable fighter.
It was an amazing night. I put the work in. I stayed disciplined throughout my camp. I was in tremendous shape. And T.O., he's a hell of a fighter, but I was the better man tonight.
Guys, just raise your hands, please, and the microphone will be brought to you. Thank you.
Shakur, congratulations, man. Great performance, obviously. Did you feel at some point that you demoralized him and he was just kind of trying to get to the finish line?
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like he's a fighter, so he tried to fight back. But yeah, I picked him apart. In the second round, I want to say that I told my corner, I said, I'm stronger than he is.
Did you feel like you hurt him at any point in the fight?
Yeah, for sure. I hurt him a couple of times. My jab, my left hand to the body, my left hand up top. I put on a great show tonight.
Obviously, a great performance against your best opponent. Any disappointment that you didn't stop him? Because you said even during the fight you wanted to stop him.
No, there's no disappointment. It's boxing at the end of the day. I seen him go out there, and when I was about to stop him, he started fighting back a little bit. So, respect to him. He's a sharp fighter. He got a lot of knowledge, and he did.
Jr. believes the only fighter who could challenge Stevenson's dominance is Gervonta "Tank" Davis. While Tank's name might feel a bit distant given his recent quiet period, Jones emphasizes that his abilities shouldn't be underestimated. In a recent conversation with Fight Hype, he made it clear that if anyone has a chance to trouble Stevenson, it's Tank. But it's not solely about his knockout power. Everyone knows Tank can hit hard. Jones highlights something more subtle, the qualities beyond raw strength, the intangibles that could make all the difference.
His whole thing was to try to make Shakur mad enough to come out and try to trade with him early. That's why he had all the jokes he had. That's why he was doing all the antics. It was strictly just to try to piss Shakur off so that maybe Shakur would come out and try to land a big shot on him. He knew that was his only chance. And I knew that was his only chance. So if Shakur came out and went right at him like that, that would have gave him a chance to try to land something big and lucky. Other than that, he's never had the feet to keep up with to keep up with Shakur. Because Shakur has some of the best feet in the game. And people don't understand that. What makes it so hard is that his foot game is so on point that he can make you miss this much. Because now, used to be he would jump way back. Now he's not doing that anymore. Now he's just stepping back just enough to make you miss so he can get what he wants after you miss. That makes him highly dangerous. And to see him improve on that and come bring it to the forefront in the biggest fight of his career is great. But I want to say something else. To both of those fighters, for you two guys to go out there at 28 years old when y'all in y'all prime and put it all on the line, that's what boxing is really about. That's what we've been missing in boxing. And thanks to Turk Al-Sheikh, because without his pockets, they may still not have done it. But because
about landing a powerful punch, it's about intelligence inside the ring. Jones points out that many people underestimate Tank's fight IQ. He can set traps, anticipate patterns, and unleash sudden bursts of power that can end a fight in an instant, even if he's behind on points. That unpredictability poses a direct challenge to Stevenson's style. While Shakur excels at controlling tempo and rhythm, Tank thrives in disorder and chaos. According to Jones, if Tank brings full focus and intensity, his combination of speed, strength, and tactical awareness makes him the only fighter capable of figuring out a way to break through Stevenson's defenses.
With the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person because of his intangibles. When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank's a problem for anybody because Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's just that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and it make people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. Tank is motivated.
Dream matchup meets reality. Jones didn't just highlight Tank's strengths. He also delivered a candid evaluation of why Stevenson would probably come out on top if they faced off today. The deciding factor, according to him, is simple: discipline. Stevenson's focus isn't something he switches on only in the ring. It defines his entire lifestyle. He avoids reckless behavior, maintains strict routines, and fully immerses himself in the sport. Shakur rarely makes headlines for the wrong reasons, and his steady, methodical consistency is exactly what makes him so formidable.
Back in the days, everybody had something. Muhammad Ali was a mover boxer, George was a puncher, Ernest Shavels was a puncher. Everybody had something they brought to the table. Larry Holmes had a jab. Mike Weaver had overhand right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something. That division now is full, and Tank having to be the knockout guy of the division. He the one with the main knockout power. Garcia has it too, but Tank got that real knockout power that, like, if Tank hit one of them clean, usually they gonna have a problem. So it's like, I like Tank. Every now and then, I think when he knows he can beat somebody, he probably don't lock in as hard, but I think when they bring challenges, he locks in.
Yeah, he fights to the level of his competition. He was doing that a lot.
And he got to be careful of that.
2 fights ago, he was really doing that.
You feel me? So you got to be careful of that, because if you come in and think somebody is not at your level and you underestimate them, it can get you beat. So that's the only thing I think you got to be careful of. Other than that, Tank is a really good fighter.
Side of the equation, there's Tank. Jones emphasized that discipline has long been the missing piece for Davis. No matter how gifted a fighter is, failing to live the lifestyle the sport demands will eventually catch up to them. Stevenson consistently stays prepared throughout the year, while Tank tends to swing between moments of brilliance and periods of distraction. That's why Jones leans toward Shakur in a matchup today, because you can rely on him to be fully present. With Tank, it's uncertain which version will step into the ring, the unstoppable force or the unfocused talent.
Because you've been saying that, but like, if you fighting other elite fighters, it's gonna look like this in your mind?
Yes. There's nobody that can deal with my brain as a boxer. I sit here, I live this shit on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. Only way that you're gonna be able to be able to try to compete with me on that level is if you live the way I live. And nobody is disciplined and dedicated enough to live the way I live with this game.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'm not worried about it no more. Like, I don't care. I can say this shit on camera because that's what it really is.
Right. All right. What do you think about the jab though? Because you made it a point. Me and you actually spoke. This is maybe a month or two ago. This was a minute ago, and you told me, you said, "Watch what my jab do in this fight. Watch how my jab work in this fight." And I was like, "All right, cool." But statistically, they said this was the most jabs you ever threw. This is the most jabs you ever landed, and he couldn't do nothing with the jab. Can you just explain? Give us your breakdown of how you were operating with the jab in this fight.
Honestly, I worked under this camp and I kind of seen that he wasn't able to stop certain guys' jabs, but certain guys don't jab enough when they're in front of him. And for me, I really just wanted to make my jab a weapon. So the entire training camp, I just kind of rehearsed on weaponizing my jab over and over and over. And come fight night, that shit just came natural. Like, it just was like, okay, it's there.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. Even as the fight, it was certain spots where he's defending the other side well, but I'm like, okay, we're gonna go back to the bread and butter. He can't stop the bread and butter, so we're gonna keep using it all night.
Signs of vulnerability in Tank's game are easy to spot. While Stevenson was busy adding another title to his collection in 2026, Tank's most recent fight back in March 2025 left much to be desired. Facing Lamont Roach, he ended up with a majority draw that left many fans puzzled. What should have been a straightforward night for the knockout specialist instead revealed a sluggish, disengaged, and noticeably rusty fighter.
Everyone's been wanting to see for years is Tank and Shakur. Now, at this point, it might be a fantasy fight with what, Tank has going on outside the ring.
Yep.
But who wins that fight right now, in your opinion?
Right now, Shakur wins it because of his discipline. Because he showed against Teofimo that he can stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline. But we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at right times than we've seen him not have discipline. So with the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person.
Of that fight, and perhaps the first real sign of decline, came during the controversial voluntary knee incident. It was an odd sequence that raised doubts about Tank's determination and conditioning. He began the fight slowly, surrendered several rounds, and was fortunate to leave without a defeat on his record. That night's performance was a stark contrast to the fearsome fighter he had been just a few years earlier. It marked the moment the boogeyman image started to fade and perfectly illustrated Roy Jones Jr.'s point. Raw talent can only carry a fighter so far when the drive begins to diminish.
It's a secret Lamont Roach knows. Tank can go get you if you're running away, because Tank is very good at knowing the distance where he has most leverage on his punches. If you think about Mike Tyson is strange to say, but he wasn't great with his power when he was very close on the inside. Mike Tyson was a mid-range puncher. That's why Mike Tyson could go in from a distance and step in and knock you out. But when y'all close, Mike Tyson didn't really have all his power in there. Neither does Tank. So if you're backing up, Tank can go get you. Other than that, Tank has to counter you. That's how Tank knocked out Rolly. That's how Tank knocked out Ryan Garcia. That's how Tank hurt Mario Barrios and started that shit, that snowball. That's how Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz. That's why Tank talked so much. He needs
overwhelming performance against Roach is only part of the picture. The bigger reason Roy Jones Jr. doubts his chances isn't his technique but his lack of freedom, as ongoing legal troubles have put his career on hold. Early in 2026, he faced an arrest in Miami and serious probation violations in Baltimore, making it nearly impossible to train for one of the most disciplined fighters in the sport. And while Stevenson sharpens his skills in the gym, Tank is stuck in courtrooms fighting for his future, a situation Jones calls a career derailment that overshadows the undeniable talent he possesses and threatens to derail what could have been one of boxing's biggest fights.
Interview that we was talking about Tank, that was when the you and Tank shit was a whole big deal, whatever. And then it was like, you was kind of on it like, man, it gotta happen. And I was like, I don't know if it's really gonna happen. And now I feel like you guys are the point that you kind of over it. I don't feel the energy from you that you kind of like, whatever, it is what it is. I'll make my own path. When did you kind of get to that point? If that's where you're at, that's kind of what I took from it. But when did you get to the point with accepting like, this might not happen and I'm okay with it?
Bro, I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really have a conversation with you about him because it's like, there's nothing to talk about. Like, there's nothing, what are we talking about? Like, you know.
Forget about, I don't want to talk about him.
You know, everybody else knows, so what are we talking about?
I don't mean him per se though. I'm just saying is, when did you let it go, the idea? Because, like, I spoke to Benavidez. I interviewed Benavidez the other day. And y'all was kind of in the same situations where Canelo was his guy that he like, yo, this is the guy I'm going to get to stardom. And then, but he came to the point, he's like, yo, I just realized this guy ain't going to fight me. And I moved on. And now, I let it go and my path was this. That's why I was like, did you ever have a let go moment? Like, forget about him.
That's just when niggas start, bro. I don't be liking certain things, bro, where it's like, I don't need nobody. I don't, bro, you been to my crib, nigga.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody in life, bro. I'm okay, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's paid off.
Yeah.
You feel me? So
setbacks and lost time, Roy Jones Jr. didn't completely write Tank off, leaving fans with a lingering what if. He stressed that if Davis is focused and motivated, he becomes a threat to anyone in the sport. The potential is still there. His power remains. His instincts are sharp, but it ultimately comes down to mental discipline. Execution, not raw talent, wins championships. And that's why Jones still leans towards Shakur Stevenson. If
Davis said he was scared of Shakur Stevenson. No, I have not. Can't tell you that I've seen that. I will tell you what I did see. I see a situation where Shakur Stevenson is being attached to Gervonta Davis's name for a very good reason. Because the reason that Shakur Stevenson is interesting is not Shakur Stevenson alone. It's who is Shakur Stevenson going to fight next. When people are talking about who is he going to fight next, the number one person that people ask Shakur himself about is Gervonta Davis. He's asked every single interview about Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis was not asked every single interview about Shakur Stevenson. Now when Gervonta Davis comes out of whatever situation he's in where it looks like he is, he will be asked about Shakur Stevenson, which is why it is.
Fight happened tomorrow. Consistency and professionalism beat chaos every time. Stevenson has proven he lives and breathes the sport, while Tank remains unpredictable, a walking question mark. Yet the fact that a legend like Jones still identifies him as the only real threat highlights the ceiling even a fighter of Stevenson's caliber might face, a ceiling that only a wild, focused, and disciplined Tank could challenge. The choice is entirely Davis's.